Welcome back, y'all, with another haircut tutorial. We're going to be doing a high burst taper today. We're going to start off with our number 2 guard and just kind of clean up our side area just to get the extra hair out the way so that it'll be easier to start our first guideline. Once you start reaching towards the top of the ear, you're going to want to start flicking out with your number 2 guard open towards the top of the hair. That way it starts blending in with the sides. Next, we're going to start off with our first guideline. We're going to grab our liners or trimmers, whatever you guys call it. I call them liners. And go ahead and start with our first guideline. We're going to start our first guideline right under the temple area and work our way all the way back towards the back of the ear. Kind of try to form a rainbow shape. Next, we're going to start with our second guideline and use our no guard close and basically go about half an inch to almost an inch on top of our first guideline. Next, you're going to want to grab your 1/16 guard or 0 guard open and just go on top of that no guard close about half an inch to almost an inch as well. The reason why I explained it a little bit early is because I was blocking the camera view, so you guys won't be able to see me do the 1/16 guard guideline. But basically just follow the same things that you did with the no guard close, and then after you do that, you're gonna go back again with your no guard halfway open and knock off any dark spots that you see. Next, you're going to want to grab your number 1 guard open and just go over about an inch on top of your 1/16 guard. You're going to want to start getting towards the top of the head because it's basically blending in with the number 2 guard open. Next, you're going to want to grab your number 2 guard close and basically start flicking out from that number 1 guard open with your number 2 guard open. This way it starts blending in those 2 guards together. Once you guys get to that point, you're going to grab your 1.5 guard. If you guys have 1.5 guard, you can use that. If you don't, then you can go ahead and use your 1 guard open as well, and that should definitely get out any other dark spots that you guys see. So basically now we're just going down guards. That way we see any dark spots, we're just gonna start flicking out and get rid of them. So next, grab your 116 guard or 0 guard open and just start flicking out. Same thing after that, just go with your no guard open and just start flicking out as well. After you get done with that, I like to grab my ball shavers and just start flicking out from the bottom of the hair towards the taper. Definitely makes the haircut stand out way better. It brings out the gradients inside the taper. If you don't have that, you can always use straight razor or anything, but I prefer using the ball shavers. So same thing with the taper on the sides. We're just gonna grab our liners again and just create our first skyline. Get rid of those bottom hairs that you don't need, and just kind of clean up your work area. Again, you're going to want to use your no guard close and just start with your first guideline. Go about this time close to an inch. I want to say, yeah, around an inch for your first guideline. It'll definitely make the more ball it is, basically, it makes your taper in the back stand out way more. You have way more room to work with in the back than you do on the sides. So don't be afraid to go a little bit higher if you need to. Next, you're going to want to grab your 116 guard or 0 guard closed and just go about an inch on top of that no guard open. Notice you'll start seeing a faint line right in between the 116 guard and the no guard. And basically, once you get to that point, you're going to want to just grab your no guard halfway open and start flicking out that line. If it doesn't come out with the halfway open, then go ahead and start using your no guard closed and just flick out that line, and should definitely get that line out the way. What I mean by trigger play is basically moving from open guard to close guard. So for example, with this no guard, you're going to start off with opening it and then going from halfway and then eventually close. That way you're not taking off too many excess hair that you don't need and then creating another guideline, which you don't want. Next, you're going to want to grab your number 1 guard open and just go about an inch on top of that 116 guard as well. And again, you're going to see that faint line between the 116 guard and the 1 guard open. Same thing, you're going to just trigger play with that as well with the 116 guard. Start off with open, then halfway, and then close. To get rid of that line between the number 2 guard open and the 1 guard open, you're going to grab your 1.5 guard closed, start flicking out to blend those 2 guards together. If you don't have that as well, same thing, just grab your number 1 guard open, start doing trigger play with that. So start up with open, then halfway, and then eventually closed. That should get rid of that line right there. of our back taper and just start flicking out. That way the taper in the back has more gradiency. You can definitely see the blend, and just creating that extra baldness definitely makes the taper in the back stand out way better. Same thing with the side taper part. You're gonna just start going down guards, cleaning up any dark areas that you see. So start off with the 116 guard open, start flicking out, see any dark spots, then go down with the no guard open, and then flick out any other spots. Then grab your trimmers, same thing, flick out any spots you see. Definitely makes the taper in the back stand out way better. So as you can see, my client has really long hair, but he wants to get rid of those bangs. So we're gonna start off with just combing our hair all the way down, get them all straight, and then we're just gonna grab our trimmers and start lining up the front. Once you get done with the lineup, you're going to start using clipper over comb. So just grab any comb that you have, preferably the ones that I'm using is the wide tooth ones. So just pull the comb upwards, grab the clipper, start shaving. Try not to shave too much, just pull the comb up a little bit and then shave off any excess hair that you see, and it should blend in those hairs perfectly. So like I said in my other video, I'll be making another beard tutorial later down the road. But here you can see my client basically has a perfect lining beard, so I didn't really have to use any enhancements for you to see the outline of it. What I like to do is go over my work at least one more time. That way I can knock off any dark lines that I see, or fix up the lineup, just anything that makes the haircut stand up way more. Whether that's lining it up, knocking any dark spots out the way, or using the ball shavers and making the hair more gradient. And here you guys have it. Here is my version of the high burst taper haircut. If you guys liked the video, please like and subscribe. It definitely means a lot because I am trying to work on building up my barber YouTube channel. But lastly, make sure your client is always happy with his haircut. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Have a good day.